They told me not to fish on that side of the lake. Not after dark, the old bait shop guy warned, handing me a dented tackle box. And definitely not near the fog line. I thought he was just superstitious. Every town's got stories, right? Old folks love spinning tales to freak out tourists. But that fog, it didn't move right. I set up just past the old wooden pier on the northeast bank. The fog rolled in like clockwork, thick, low, hugging the surface of the water like it was alive. I figured I had 2 hours before it reached my side. Sun was setting. The sky looked like someone lit the clouds on fire, orange bleeding into dark purple. Water was still.
No ripples.
Not a sound. Not even crickets. Weird, but peaceful. I cast out. The lake was huge, but oddly quiet. I didn't get a single bite for the first 30 minutes. Then the line jerked hard. Too hard. Whatever it was strong. I thought maybe a catfish the size of my arm. But when I reeled, it didn't fight like a fish. Pulled in rhythms. Like tugs spaced out evenly. Like it was following a pattern. Then it stopped. The line went slack. I reeled fast, nothing. Hook still intact. That's when I noticed the fog had crept up faster than it should have. Way faster. It was just past the middle of the lake now, swallowing the far shore. I packed my things. I wasn't scared yet, just cautious. But as I stood up, I saw something or someone. Standing on the dock maybe 30 feet out. A man. Tall. Motionless. He was dressed like a fisherman, wide-brim hat, heavy jacket, but his arms were off. Too long. Hanging past his knees. "Hey!" I called. "You okay out there?" No response. He just turned his head, slow, jerky, and looked straight at me. I couldn't see his face. Too much shadow under that hat. I grabbed my gear and started walking backward, up the trail that led back to my truck. But I looked again. He was closer, now on the grass, at the base of the dock, still staring, still silent. Fog moved behind him like it was tethered to him. Then something truly wrong happened. The water at his feet started boiling. No heat, no sound, just rising bubbles, dark and slow. I ran.
Nos cham, no gesetaschen.
I ran full sprint, backpack bouncing, heart pounding like a jackhammer. Halfway up the path, I turned around. Just for a second. He was gone.
No fog.
No figure. Just a still, empty lake. I didn't sleep that night. I thought maybe it was some prank. A local screwing with out-of-towners. But then, around 2:17 a.m., I got a voicemail. No number. Just static. Then breathing. Then a wet voice whispering, "You saw me." I left town the next morning. Thought about never coming back. But 3 days later, I saw the photo. It was in a local news story online. Man missing near Foggy Lake. Family asking for help. It was a grainy picture. A man with a wide-brimmed hat and long arms. Same jacket. Locals said he went fishing near the fog and never came back. Sound familiar? I tried to forget. Really tried. But nightmares started. Always the same. Me on that dock. Fog crawling in. And the man just standing there. Staring. Smiling. One night, I woke up to wet footprints on my bedroom floor. No signs of a break-in. No water source nearby. Just a trail. From the window, straight to the side of my bed. I moved. New city. New job. Tried everything: therapy, meds, sleep studies. Nothing worked. The fog followed me. Some nights I'd hear dripping water behind my door. One night, my bathroom mirror steamed up on its own and 3 words appeared. "Cast again tonight." I smashed the mirror, but I knew what it meant. I drove back to that cursed lake. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe I needed to end it. Maybe I was just tired of being scared. It was just past midnight when I pulled up to the dock. No one around. Moon full. Fog sitting heavy across the water like a blanket. I walked to the end of the dock. Slowly. Breath shaky. Cast my line once. Nothing. Second time. Still nothing. Third cast. The line caught something. I reeled fast, heart pounding. Then resistance. But not a tug. Not a pull. A grip. Something had taken the line and wasn't letting go. Then I saw him. rising slowly from the water like he was climbing invisible steps. Eli Mercer, or what was left of him. Skin bloated, face sunken, but eyes awake. He opened his mouth. Water poured out, and he said, "You brought me back." The sky split open with thunder. Fog swallowed the dock in seconds. I dropped the rod, ran, but he was already behind me. Whispers in my ear, ice fingers brushing my neck. I made it to the car, barely. Tires squealed on gravel. I didn't stop until I hit the highway. They never believed me. Cops said there were no footprints, no signs anyone had been there. But that voicemail, the second one, I still have it. Only this time, it wasn't just static and breathing. It was Eli's voice, calm, clear. He said, "I'm not the only one in the fog." And then dozens of voices joined in, crying, screaming, laughing, people who were never found. Now I keep driving, never stay anywhere too long, but the fog still finds me, still whispers at my window when I try to sleep. And I know, one day, I'll have to go back. One last cast, one last look, and then I join them. They say the fish bite better near Dead Man's Point. That's what the guy at the gas station said. He laughed when he said it, like it was just a joke. Hell of a name, huh? Old folks named it after some camper that drowned back in the 60s. You'll catch monsters out there, I promise, if you're brave enough to cast. I should have walked away then, but I didn't. It was a gray morning, heavy with the smell of rain. Not a drop had fallen yet, but the air buzzed like something was coming. I hiked down to the lake alone. No one else out. Not a single boat. Just the wind, and trees creaking like they were whispering behind my back. Dead Man's Point was a narrow peninsula that jutted out into the blackest part of the lake. Shallow roots, loose rocks, the kind of place where one bad step could send you straight into the water. Perfect for fishing, or so I thought. I set up camp with my chair and cooler. Cast my line, waited, then a bite, a hard one, strong enough to bend the rod like it was trying to snap it in half. I reeled breath tight, heart thudding. Whatever I'd hooked was fighting like hell, but not erratic like a fish.
No flailing, no darts.
This was smooth, purposeful, like something was reeling me in. Then it let go, clean, just like that. The water settled, line went slack. Hook was still there, bait gone. Weird, but not scary. Yet, I baited again, cast again. This time I watched the water, real close, and that's when I saw it. Something shiny just beneath the surface, like a lure, but not mine. It shimmered and sank, like it wanted to be noticed. Curious, I leaned closer. Then it moved toward me, fast. I jumped back, tripping over my cooler, landed hard on the rocks. The surface bubbled, and I swear to God I saw a hand, just the tips of fingers, pale, thin, reaching up, then gone. I should have left right then. But you ever have that moment where your brain says, run, and your body doesn't move? Yeah, that was me. I just sat there, staring at the ripples, shaking, trying to convince myself I was wrong. Maybe a fish, maybe a trick of light. Then I noticed something in the water, tangled in the reeds not far from shore. Tackle box, old, rusted, covered in moss. Pulled it out. Inside was a single lure, handmade, carved bone, hooked with twisted copper wire, and etched in the side, "Take what you wish." Suddenly, the air turned cold, like death cold. I looked around. The fog was rolling in from the far side of the lake, thick, fast, alive, and something was crawling out of the water. It looked like a man at first, but too long, too thin, skin like rotted leather, stretched tight over bones, eyes black, lips stitched shut with fishing line. He dragged himself onto the shore, nails digging into the mud, and in his hand my lure, the one I just found. He held it up like an offering, then opened his mouth, tearing the line that sealed it. The sound that came out wasn't a voice. It was 100 voices, all screaming at once. I ran. Didn't look back. Didn't breathe. Just ran. But no matter how far I went, the forest kept twisting. Like I was going in circles. Branches clawed at my face. Roots grabbed my ankles. Until finally I stumbled into a clearing. And there was the lake. Again, Dead Man's Point. But this time, there were others. 7 people, standing ankle-deep in the water. All of them holding lures. Eyes wide, faces blank. One of them was a girl, maybe 12, maybe younger. Blue dress, missing shoes, lips sewn shut like his. They turned to face me in perfect sync, raised their arms, and dropped the lures into the water. Each one whispered as it sank. Different words, but all of them wrong, like they were calling something. The lake started to boil, and from the center it rose. The angler, that's what I call it now, 12 feet tall, skin like oil. Its face was a swirling mess of hooks and bone. No eyes, no mouth, just a glowing lure, swinging from a thread where its face should have been. It sang, not with sound, with feeling. My brain filled with screams, regrets, my deepest fears. I knew them all. Couldn't move, couldn't think. It pointed at me with a finger made of rusted metal and whispered in my head, "Cast and stay." I don't remember much after that. I woke up the next morning on the side of the road, 20 miles from the lake. My tackle box was gone. So was my phone. So was my memory of how I got there. But my hand, it was bleeding. Carved deep into my palm were the words, "Take what you wish." I tried burning the clothes I wore that day. Didn't matter. The smell of lake water stayed in my nostrils for weeks. I didn't fish again, but sometimes at night, I feel the tug, like something's pulling on me from inside. And sometimes I dream of the girl in the water. She holds out a lure, bone, copper wire, and whispers with sewn lips, "You never left." Last week, someone knocked on my door. No one there, just a small box on the porch. Inside my lure, the one from Dead Man's Point, and underneath it, a map, leading back to the lake. There's no road on that map anymore. Just a black path marked with one word, yours. So tonight, I pack my gear again. Not because I want to, because I have to, because the lure's already in my hand, and the angler is waiting. I fished that lake for 20 years. Every weekend, every summer since I was a kid. But that morning, July 3rd, I swear something changed out there. And I don't just mean the fog. I got there around 5. Sun wasn't up yet. Lake was glass. Quiet still, too still. Even the birds weren't singing. I remember thinking, perfect. I backed the truck up, lowered my old aluminum boat into the water, hopped in with my thermos and tackle box, and started rowing to the far cove. The one nobody else goes to. Locals call it Mirror Bend. It's where the lake curves like a horseshoe, and the trees on all sides reflect perfectly on the water, unless there's a ripple, unless something breaks the surface. That morning, the reflection was off. I didn't notice at first, not until I dropped anchor and looked over the edge. See, Mirror Bend is supposed to show you, the same you, same sky, same trees, just upside down. But what I saw in the water was someone else. I leaned over, blinked. The man staring back didn't blink with me, didn't even breathe, just watched. Same build, same hat, but older, paler, and his eyes, they were wrong. Too dark, too deep, like 2 black marbles sunk into dead skin. I jerked back so fast I nearly tipped the boat. The water rippled, and when it settled, it was just me again. My face, my eyes, normal. Must have been the light, I thought. Or maybe I was just tired. I took a sip of coffee, baited my hook, cast the line. Then I heard it. A whisper, right behind me. I spun around, nothing there. Just the trees. Still, fog rolling in low across the water. But the whisper came again. This time from below, right under the boat. I leaned over, real slow, and something was watching me from beneath the water. 2 eyes, too wide apart for a person, too human for a fish. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then bubbles. dozens of them, and the sound of knuckles tapping metal from under the hull. Tap, 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 like it was knocking to be let in. I grabbed the oars, tried to row, but the boat wouldn't move. Anchor must have snagged something. I reached down to pull it up, and the rope yanked back. Hard enough to slice into my fingers and nearly pull me overboard. I let go, stumbled, slipped on the wet deck. Then silence, not even the wind, and the reflection changed again. It wasn't me anymore. It wasn't even human, just a face, featureless, eyeless, but still watching. I looked up, nothing there. Looked down, the face was still watching. Smiled. No lips, just a crack that split where a mouth should be. I backed away, heart racing. That's when I noticed the water. It wasn't reflecting anything anymore. It had turned black and flat, like a sheet of obsidian stretching out to nowhere. No ripples, no sun, just black. And in the distance, in that unnatural glassy surface, I saw shapes. Boats, old ones, rusted, half-sunken, and figures inside them, still, silent, staring back. Dozens of them, all facing me. Then a voice, low, wet, inside my head. It only watches until you look back. I must have screamed. I don't remember. Everything after that is broken glass in my memory. But I remember trying to jump out of the boat. Didn't matter. The water grabbed me. Not a splash, not a fall, just lifted me, like it pulled gravity inside out. I floated, then dropped hard onto dirt, dry, cold, cracked like desert clay. But I was still on the lake. I looked up. The sky was red, not like a sunset, like blood. And in the middle of it, hanging in the air, was a massive vertical eye, pupil wide as a man, iris spinning like a whirlpool. And it blinked. I woke up choking on water, lying on the dock. My boat was still floating in the cove, untouched. Sun was up. Birds were chirping, like none of it happened. But my hands, they were torn. Rope burns, deep, and carved into my right palm with something sharp were the words, "You looked back." I told no one, not even my brother. He's a cop, wouldn't believe it. But that night, I heard the tapping again. In the pipes, in the walls, in my own damn reflection. Every time I look in the mirror now, I hesitate. Because I know, if I stare too long, I'll see it, the one that watches. And if it smiles again, I won't look away this time. I'll go back. I grew up around that lake. My granddad had a cabin on the south shore. Old, creaky, full of fish guts and mosquito nets, and every summer, I'd spend 3 months out there with him. We had a routine. He'd wake up before dawn, smoke half a cigar, make instant coffee thick as tar, and we'd walk down to the water together. And he'd always say the same thing, "Stay off the old dock." Now, there were 2 docks, ours rotted but safe, and the other one 30 feet to the west, jutting out into the deeper part of the lake. It was always foggier there, always colder. Granddad never explained why, but his face changed whenever he looked that way. Tight, pale, like it reminded him of something he didn't want to remember. "Is it broken?" I asked once when I was 8. He looked down at me, real slow. "It ain't broken," he said. "It's waiting." That dock sat untouched for years, even after Granddad died, even after the cabin sat empty, gathering dust. But last August I went back, needed to clear my head. Life had turned to static, divorce, layoffs, nights filled with cheap whiskey and cheaper apologies. I just wanted a break, someplace quiet. So I packed a bag, grabbed a rod, and drove out. And when I stepped onto the porch of that old cabin, everything felt the same except the dock. It was cleaner.
No moss, no rot.
Like something had been using it. I stayed 2 nights before it started. The first night was calm, stars bright, wind soft. But the second night, I heard footsteps, not on the porch, not on the gravel, on the dock, slow, wet, wood creaking under weight. I looked out the window, pitch black.
No flashlight.
No movement, Just the sound. Creak, 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 then a splash, and silence. I didn't sleep. Next morning, I found boot prints leading from the old dock to the tree line, and then nothing. No return tracks. No boat. Just a trail that vanished mid-step. I thought maybe some kids were messing around. But kids don't leave fish gills on your doorstep. Still twitching. I should have left. Instead, I did what every horror story tells you not to do. I stayed one more night. Brought a chair to the porch. Sat with a flashlight and a beer. Kept my eyes on that dock. Midnight came. Then 1. Then I heard it again. The water shifted. Boards groaned. And something walked out. Not fast. Not loud. Just steady. A figure. Too tall to be human. Skin pale as bone. Dripping wet. It didn't walk so much as glide. Like its feet didn't lift. Just slid forward one step at a time. And it didn't look at me. It looked at the house. Like it knew me. Like it remembered. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. The flashlight flickered. My hand shook. The bottle in my lap tipped and rolled off the porch. That's when it turned. His face wasn't a face. It was water. Shifting. Changing. A swirl of eyes. Mouths, fish parts, like something had tried to build a person out of lake muck and memories. And when it opened its mouth, it spoke. But the sound didn't come from the dock. Came from inside me. You came back. I ran. Didn't grab anything. Didn't lock the door. Just bolted through the woods. Keys clutched so tight I cut my palm. Got in the truck and peeled out. Tires spitting gravel behind me. Didn't stop until I hit town. Didn't sleep for 3 days. I never told anyone. Not until now. But here's the worst part. 3 days ago I got a letter. No return address. Just a photo inside. Old. Faded. A black and white picture of my granddad. Standing at the edge of the old dock. And beside him, the same figure I saw that night. One hand on his shoulder. Both of them smiling. There was a note scrawled on the back. Told you. It waits. I've been fishing that lake since I was a kid. Stillwater Lake. Just a small patch of blue on the map. Nestled between 2 nameless hills. Half an hour from the nearest gas station. Locals don't talk about it much. They just say, don't go alone. But I always did. Because for me it was peaceful. No people. No cell signal. Just the sound of the wind and the splash of the line hitting water. That changed the day I hooked something I couldn't reel in. It started normal. I launched the old rowboat before dawn. Mist curling off the water like smoke. Rod in one hand. Thermos in the other. I paddled to the far end of the lake, where the water turned darker, colder. Dropped the anchor. Cast the line. Nothing for an hour. Then I felt the tug. Not a nibble. Not a pull. A yank. Like something deep and heavy had grabbed hold and wanted to drag me under. The rod bent hard. Reel screamed. I braced my legs, dug my heels, and started fighting. Whatever it wasn't a fish. It was smart. Every time I gained ground, it gave slack. Just enough to let me think I was winning. Then it would pull again. Harder. Twice I almost went overboard. And then, the line snapped. Snapped clean like it had been cut from below. I stared at the rod, heart pounding, sweat dripping even though the air had gone cold. I looked down into the water. Still, silent, but I swear it was watching me. Back on shore, I checked the line.
No fry. No tangle.
Just sliced. That night, I told myself it was just a big catfish. Maybe a turtle. But I didn't sleep, because at 2:17 a.m., my boat moved. I heard it from the cabin. A creak, then a splash. I looked out the window and saw the boat rocking on its own. No wind, no rain, just rocking. And the rope that tied it to the dock? Untied. Next morning, I found the anchor on the porch. Covered in something thick and black like oil. Smelled like rot. But the anchor had been in the water tied to the boat. Something brought it up and left it there. I should have left then, but I needed to know. So the next night I paddled back out. Same spot, same time, and I brought a spotlight this time. I dropped the anchor again but didn't cast. Just sat. Listened. Midnight came. The water was too quiet. Then came the sound. Not a splash. Not bubbles. A knock. From under the boat. I froze. Another knock. Then another. Like something was tapping from underneath, like it wanted in. Then came the push. The boat rocked. Not from wind or waves. From something beneath me. The anchor chain went tight, then slack. Then tight again, like something was climbing it. I grabbed the light. Aimed it over the side. And I saw it. Not a face. Not exactly. But an eye. Too big. Pale. Not blinking, just watching. And then it spoke. Not out loud, but in my head. Like a voice made of water and pressure and darkness. It said, "You pulled me first." Panicked. Cut the anchor loose. Started rowing like hell. Didn't care about gear or fish. Just needed to get back. But the boat dragged. Slowed. Something was holding it. I screamed. Cried. Begged. And then it let go. I don't know why, but I made it back. When I hit shore, I ran. Left the boat. Left the lake. Drove straight through the night. Shaking, soaking wet. That was 6 weeks ago. I haven't gone near water since. But this morning I got a package. No return address. Inside was my anchor, still covered in that black muck. Wrapped around it, my fishing line, tied in a perfect knot.